Cracker.
Welcome back to Danger's Tackle Tips. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to try this new lure out. Looks real fishy, but it's a bit of pressure on it. I told everyone at home that I was going to come back with a big feed and claim I'm going to make these flatty burgers and all sorts, so I had a little bit of pressure on it. I'm using a Vexed crab sleeve, so I've used a few crab imitation lures in the past, mainly for brim around poles, but a lot of the flatties have been catching lately. You feel like they've got rocks in their stomach, and you pick them up and you feel these lumps, and when you do get around to filling them, often they're full of crustaceans, particularly these real little sand crabs. So I thought, if this works, I'm in for a few flatties today. Just trying to work out the retrieve. Started out with this one pretty much, I don't know, probably at 4 or 5 casts in. He hit it at quite a faster retrieve, but I think I was probably just a little bit lucky. So I ended up changing things up a bit later on. Either way, it was a good confidence booster and a nice start to the day, so I at least had enough for half a burger from this one. After my netting efforts recently, I decided to walk this one to the shore. First one on board. There we go. He scoffed it right down. Then encountered some more wind knots. I've been really struggling with this reel. I think the bail arm is failing a little bit. It just keeps on getting caught up, so I think it's in for a service or might be finally coming to an end. I've been using this CI4 for like the last 8 years, so might be time for a new one. It was a bit frustrating, but I just had to get into the pattern of casting out and then flicking my bail arm back over. There was a little bit of string weed around as well, which was a bit of a pain, but I walked over to the drop-offs and seemed to do a bit better around there. I'm using a size 2 1/12 weight and a relatively slow retrieve. I'm trying to keep the lure pretty close to the bottom because, crabs aren't darting around everywhere. They're sort of just crawling along the bottom. I've got the 1/12 mainly just because I want a real finesse sort of presentation because it's such a little fly style lure. But it's got the red little legs, which I think are a good little attractor. Looks like I need a new net and a new reel. Great. So Taylor from a few videos ago really did a number on it, and now all the flatties are poking out the other end. Watch my hand, not the reel. Just a nice slow retrieve. A few little hops, but again, just small little ones. So crab's not going to be darting way off the bottom. And we're on. He's waking up. This one had a little bit more of an action to it. It's funny, depending on, you'll hook up a real big one and they'll come in like a wet blanket, and every now and then, a little mid-side one like this will give you a bit of curry.
Firing this one.
And they're still green and you don't want to walk into the shore. I usually just walk around in circles so I can keep pressure on that line. And then I'll try and net them or take them to the shore once they've cooled down a bit. Check out the hook placement on this one, well and truly pinned. In this area of the river, I'm just casting to the drop off, so it's like a nice little flat zone with lots of rocks around, and it drops down, not a huge amount, but like about 1 metre from where I'm casting, so seems to be a lot of flatties just sitting there waiting for the ambush. Only a little tacky here. Better watch out for these ones, they're the ones that spike you. I'm just standing right on the edge of the shallower area. Watch my hand, not the reel, just slow retrieve. Tiny hop, and we're on. This one was much bigger. Felt him straight away.
This one's a bit nicer.
Doesn't really know he's hooked yet until about now.
Oh, beauty.
Doing his best to try and shake out that hook, hoping not that he wouldn't burn through that 8-pound leader.
Yes.
Happy with that one. Beautiful fish, and he scoffed that lure right down too. Looks absolutely ridiculous hanging through the bottom of the net. Still celebrating hard though. No wonder he's trying to shake that lure out so hard. That leader was absolutely bruised up. I end up having to retie that leader knot. Use lure clips when going for flatties, but if not, I'm using the trusty lefty loop knot. Either way, I'm pretty impressed with this new lure. It's working an absolute treat. Good thing about it as well, because it's a fly presentation, you don't have to worry about blowies. I think I foul hooked one blowfish the whole session. Other than that, they just left it alone. You could see him following it in, but they just weren't committing, or they weren't even trying to bite off the legs or anything. It was great. So, usually right now, if I had a soft plastic, I probably would have changed 3 or 4 just from it getting ripped up from the flatties, or just the tails getting bitten off from the blowfish. That's the Swan River though. If you're over east, it's a little bit different. But regardless, this lure, you can change the jigger head out, so you can catch as many fish as you want on it, really, until you snag it. I haven't had this much success with a lure like this in a really long time, particularly on its first or second go that I've used it. It's actually the second time I've had a crack with this. I actually hooked up to a giant herring, which I've got on at the end of this video. The drag of my Stradic CI4 is really struggling. It's sticking really bad. So I think it's going in for a service. So I'll be doing some other type of fishing while I'm waiting, or I'll be using a new reel in my next video. Already caught enough flatties to feed the family, so this little one got to go home. So in the end, the lure absolutely delivered, and I had enough to feed the family. So I've got a filleting video on my YouTube Shorts of these, but I'll run through the burgers. So I started off with the sauce, which have got whole egg mayo. I chopped up some dill pickles, a bit of lemon rind, a little dash of lemon juice, a bit of garlic powder, salt, pepper, and 2 spoons of the pickle juice. Mix that up. Then I'm just going to do a simple breading. So I've got 50% egg, 50% milk, and just let it sit in there. And I've salted the fillets as well. I then put flour in the end bowl, because that's where I'm going to lay them afterwards, so that they don't go soggy when I put them in there. So I'm just putting them in my flour mix here, which is garlic powder, 50% polenta, 50% flour, and white pepper. Really simple. Using grapeseed oil today. I use the back of the wooden spoon when I see the bubbles going along. I'll chuck the fillets in. I'm cooking these for about, 3 to 4 minutes until they sort of look nice and golden. With the polenta, they go like a real yellow golden colour. I like to turn these regularly, so you can watch this every 20 seconds or so. I'm turning them over. Beautiful. Toast up some brioche buns. Add my little tartar sauce and butter lettuce, and then I'll stack on that fish as well. Put as many as you can fit in there. Another layer of the sauce, some more pickles, and demolish. Here's my actual first test for this lure. It was a horribly windy day. I had about 20 minutes after work, and I went out to this flats here. Just slowly working a drop off here.
Oh, yes!
Oof. I thought it was a tailor. Pulling a bit of string.
What do we got? I think it's a giant herring. Oh no!
I was kicking myself on the drive home with that one. Either way, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Feel free to ask any questions below.